that the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Agbochu-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I put the question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer 2, that for the Senate to consider lifting this suspension or reducing the tenor of the suspension, Senator Natasha Agbochu-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against.
People, what a lawless country. So the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions has recommended a 6-month suspension for Senator Natasha following the lawsuit case against the Senate President Akpabio. We all know the gaga that happened yesterday in Nigeria House of Senate. My correct people, them in this Senate, there are 36 other PDP senators in that chamber. And none of them, I mean, even the other 3 women could not even openly, go behind. None of them are speaking in favor of this woman. No supporter of Natasha Ote. Okay, wahala be like bicycle. You see, in this life, you got to be close. For instance, we have only, let's say we have only 4 female senators in Nigeria. And out of that 4 senators, Natasha is not in good contact with any of these 3 female senators. Why? Why exactly? I don't understand. So now this is really amazing that the senators have come in unity to speak in one voice in unity that Senator Natasha should be suspended. Nobody's against the suspension. They are all in support of this suspension. In case you don't know, it is in the code and conduct of senators. Yes. And now, ethics and public petitions recommend the following to Senator Natasha. They say that Senator Natasha should be suspended for 6 months. She must equally write a written apology before she resumes office. And again, she should be suspended from 6th of March, which happens to be today. Her office should be locked for the duration and hand over all the properties that is under her care. Again, that she must not come close to NAS, the National Assembly's complex. She should not be seen close to that particular office. And salaries and allowances and securities details should be suspended. She must be barred from presenting herself as a senator for local government. No be small thing, no. Wahala they say it be like bicycle. Yeah, it dey smell, oh. But I don't understand. In case you people are worried like me, in case you don't understand what is happening, now look at this. This is a well-written laws and policies guiding all senators in the Senate House. This is a drafted law from that particular Senate law. And I read, they said 1, a petition may only be presented to the Senate by a senator who shall affix his name at the beginning thereof. A senator presenting a petition shall confine himself to a brief statement of the parties from whom it came, the number of signatures attached to it, and the material allegations contained in it, and to reading the prayers of such petitions. Number 3 of these laws that guides them is that all petitions shall be ordered without question being put to lie upon the table. Such petitions shall stand referred to the Public Petitions Committee. Number 4, which our own senator failed to recognize while filing this petition, is that no senator may present to the Senate a petition signed by himself. Remember that when Natasha was presenting this petition against Akpabio yesterday, she said that she's the one that signed that petition. She followed this particular rule. And that is why it seems that all senators in the Senate House are standing behind Akpabio. Her petition was not presented properly. Other senator did not sign that particular petition. She signed that petition by herself. She failed to recognize these particular rules in the Senate House as a senator. So this is where she failed. I don't know if you guys are getting. So if you are trying to, be on the side of Senator Natasha, you should equally recognize these particular rules guiding all senators in the Senate House. When I saw this rule, that is when I just pinched myself, say, this is where this woman failed woefully. Okay, whatever they say, be like bicycle. And the fifth one is that no petition shall be presented to the Senate unless it is in accordance with the following rules. She might be in accordance with other rules, but she signed the petition by herself. That is where she got it all wrong. My people wait till I got to talk. I know many people have been saying that we don't have law in the country. These are a bunch of, liars and all kinds of things. But this is where Senator Natasha was caught red-handed. What is your opinion about this?
I want to first of all disagree, substantially on the issue of whether or not Senator Natasha has the right, to freely express herself in the media. Of course, the proceedings in the Senate, on the day the issue erupted, arising from receiving her, and during the plenary, was televised, live on the television, and she was later invited by this same television station, where she made very serious allegations, against the person of the Senate president. So these are the issue, these are the substantive issue. So we cannot sweep them under the carpet. The woman is saying, no, what happened at the plenary is not the matter, it's not the main issue. The main issue began so day at the house of the Senate president when he was celebrating his birthday. He said so thing to me, a kind of sexual advancement, and she has formally presented a petition for sexual harassment or for attempted sexual advancement against the person of Senator Natasha. That is the substance of the matter. Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Godswill Akpabio, cannot be a judge in his own cause. This is a primary and elementary principle of law. He is the Senate President. He is the chairman of the National Assembly. He appoints the chairman of Senate Ethics and Ethics Committee and Petition and Public Petition that has already declared Natasha's petition dead on arrival. So the fact remains that upon this serious allegation that borders on partly on code of conduct of the sitting Senate President, whether or not Natasha can get fair hearing before this committee. So the Senate President should honorably step aside so that Natasha can get justice, so that an independent, unbiased umpire, unbiased committee on public petition can look into the substance of the allegation of sexual harassment against her person. Nobody sits as a judge on her own cause. These are elementary principles of law. Natural justice and fair hearing. Audi altering pattern. Nemo jude kusaswa. As it stands today, he is the respondent in Natasha's petition. So he would have to be heard. He will appear before the committee to answer the issues that are raised in Natasha's petition. So both parties must be heard. So will there be justice and fair hearing for Natasha? No. Under the presidency of Akpabio as the president of Nigerian Senate, the right thing should be done in this country for once, for Christ's sake. This man, you have an allegation, a huge allegation, a heinous allegation of sexual harassment against a sitting senator, and you cannot continue to sit as the Senate president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to preside over her petition against your person. At least we saw what happened yesterday at the plenary. She told the Senate president to his face that what is before the court is the issue of cyberbullying. A statement made by your SA on new media. It is not the same subject matter as to whether or not as to the statement I made on Arise Television, that issue is not yet before any court of competent jurisdiction, that her petition should be accepted. And good thing, she was allowed to lay her petition. Now, what we should be looking at, particularly as lawyers in defense of democracy, as activists, as civil society organizations, is whether Natasha will get justice in the present circumstances. Who is the man presiding over at the helm of affairs of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio? Who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Petition, a man appointed by Godswill Akpabio? Will Natasha get justice in these circumstances? Obviously no. So we are calling on the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Godswill Akpabio, to do the needful. Honorably step aside as the Senate President so that this matter can be thoroughly investigated. And this matter cannot be swept under the carpet. You cannot bully her. You cannot continue, to intimidate her by rejecting her petition, telling her that her petition is dead on arrival, while at the same time you want her to face the Committee on Ethics and Public Petition over her conduct at the plenary. So what we are saying is that if justice must be done, justice must be seen to have been done. These are age-long elementary principles of law, that justice must not just be done, but must be manifestly seen to be done. The Senate rule is subject to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that guarantees every citizen right to fair hearing.